something like Weight Watchers, you mentioned Weight Watchers, you're going to just get points, and basically you get taxed a lot for fat content. So people are going to be eating low fat, no fat, everything, and really missing out on the benefits that fat does provide for us. So you do need something, I think, without the education side that oftentimes comes or should come with a diet program. You're basically doing yourself a disservice by doing a quick fix type diet. Does that make sense? Okay. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Just getting it balanced.
Yeah, basically trying to get the benefits of all those and not missing or creating any holes in your diet. All right. Calories out, metabolism. Basically, your metabolism consists of, or the calories that you burn is going to consist of several different categories. One is your resting metabolic rate. That's just your baseline metabolism. It's, somebody says that they have a low metabolism or fast metabolism. That's usually what they're referring to. Then you've got the thermic effect of food, which is the energy that's required to digest the food that you eat. That's a given. It's about 20% of the calories that you eat. When we talk about your calorie requirements as being 15 or 18 or 2,000 or 2,500 calories, that's already factored in, so you don't really need to worry about that, but we'll just talk about it because it is there. After that, your methods of burning calories basically are limited to the activities that you choose throughout the day, whether it's the day-to-day activities of daily living, you would call it, walking in the parking lot or taking the stairs, or those little things that are trying to get more activity throughout your day. Or probably for most of us, if we're starting up a weight loss program, are going to be the majority of those calories are going to come in our exercise sessions, especially if we have desk jobs or jobs that are going to limit our activity opportunities throughout the rest of the day. So the resting metabolic rate, we talked a little bit about it earlier. I touched on it that the main factors are going to be your body weight. The bigger the body, the more energy it requires to keep it alive. Body composition. If you have a large body, you have linebacker who's 240 pounds, a couch potato who's 240 pounds. The linebacker who has a higher percentage of his weight from muscle is going to burn a lot more calories. The figures can vary as far as how much, what the difference in calorie burn between a pound of fat and a pound of muscle are, but you're safe to say that about 3 times as many calories are going to be burned by a pound of muscle as by a pound of fat. So even if your weight doesn't change a single pound on the scale, if you're able to improve your body composition, decrease your body fat, increase muscle, you're going to be able to maintain that leaner mass and that leaner body shape for a much longer period of time, because now you've improved your metabolism by adding lean mass. Does that make sense? So a lot of times you'll hear folks talk about, don't put so much emphasis in the weight on the scale, and many trainers have started using body composition as a measuring stick, because really in the long run that's a much more important figure than the weight on the scale. Endocrine function. We talked a little bit about hypo or hyperthyroidism. And that certainly has an effect. A diet and an active lifestyle can help to sort of stave off endocrine conditions, but it's not going to generally be a cure for those conditions. So if you do have hyper or hypothyroidism, consult with the doctor, probably a prescription to right that ship is going to be necessary. If you do have hypothyroidism, even when you're eating right and you're exercising, it can still be pretty tough sledding to see much in the way of weight loss. So if that's something that you've struggled with for a long time and you just haven't seen any results, it's something worth getting looked at. What about age and sex? Does that affect metabolism? What do you think? Not. And is there one sex that's better at losing weight than the other? Most women will say that that men tend to have it easier when it comes to weight loss. And part of that is true. And part of that's not entirely true. And we need to look at the whole picture. Men tend to weigh more and they tend to have higher lean body mass. If all things are equal, if you take a woman who's say 140 pounds, who has 110 pounds of lean mass on her body, and you take a 120 pound male who also has 110 pounds of lean mass, their metabolism is going to be very, very similar. Provided they're about the same age, and then that has a moderate, modest effect. But really the biggest determining factor is lean mass. So regardless of sex, it's just that the fact that men tend to be bigger and tend to carry more lean mass, and that's really where the advantage lies. So, thermic effect of food, talked about that as a component of metabolism. And it doesn't change a whole lot. Like I said, it's about 20%. The only way that you could potentially improve that to burn more calories is through those small and frequent meals that you always hear about. Basically, it's going to keep your digestive system working for more hours out of the day. Whether or not that's going to amount to a significant number of calories above that 20%, probably not much. What those small and frequent meals are going to do is keep you from getting real hungry, keep you from losing your self-control. But it may help burn a few more calories if all things are the same. Activity, time versus intensity. We always talk about fat burning zones, and we'll get a little bit more into that here in a few minutes. But time versus intensity, really, as far as a bang for your buck, the higher intensity is going to obviously get you more calories within a short period of time. But then you're not in that fat burning zone. So what do you do? Does that mean that I'm not going to reach my goals? Basically, the number of calories that you burn is all that matters. So whether you're doing a low intensity for a longer period of time or a higher intensity for a short period of time, really it's about how many calories you're going to burn. Now we'll talk a little bit in a few minutes when we talk about interval training about the benefits of that high intensity training and the additional calorie burn that it gets you. It's kind of you almost get a 2-for-1 out of that one. So most of us would recommend high intensity training or higher intensity training. Obviously, body size has an effect there as well. If I'm going to walk a mile and you're going to walk a mile, or Ryan's going to walk a mile, and we're all walking at the same pace, the largest person is going to burn the most calories. That's just math. It just takes more energy to move a bigger mass. Sleep. Who gets 9 hours of sleep a night? Not a lot of hands go up. That's really what we see as the optimal amount of sleep. 8 to 9 hours of sleep is where our metabolism actually performs the best, where our endocrine system works the best. So I think the American average is about 6 hours, maybe just a little over 6 hours of sleep. Much of the research that they did was comparing 4 hours of sleep to 8 hours of sleep. And really those folks that were sleeping 4 hours a night their endocrine function was resembling early onset diabetes. So it's pretty important. So questions on metabolism, issues you've had, troubles?
Any comments on how menopause affects women?
I guess that's not. I guess I don't really have a lot on it. I don't really know, actually.
You talked to several my age. It's an impact.
I hear that